Have you ever loved someone so much that you ignored every red flag, every warning, every whisper of doubt in your mind, only to wake up one day and realize that the person you trusted the most had been playing you all along? If someone had told me years ago that I would end up in this situation, I would have laughed in their face. But now, here I am, drowning in a love that feels like a cruel joke, caught in a love story that started with hope, but quickly turned into a confusing mess of heartbreak and unanswered questions. My name is Laura. Today I am opening up about something deeply personal. I need your honest advice. Please do not judge me. I never thought it would end up this way. I didn't go into this relationship with bad intentions. I was just looking for love, for something real. It all started when I met Alex, a man who, at first, seemed like everything I had ever wanted. Kind, attentive, affectionate. He made me feel special, as if I was the only woman in the world. But there was just one problem. He was married. Alex told me he didn't love his wife, that he never did. He claimed that she wasn't the woman he wanted to be with. He swore to me that their marriage was something his family forced him into. He would tell me about his struggles, about how unhappy he was in his marriage. He spoke so convincingly, the sincerity in his eyes, or the vulnerability he showed when he told me about his struggles. He made me feel like I was the one who truly understood him, like no one else could. He painted this picture of a man trapped in a marriage he never wanted, claiming he had no choice but to marry her due to family pressure. He told me their relationship was a mistake and that he was only staying out of obligation. And I believed him. I believed he was telling the truth, that he had finally found someone he truly loved, me. He would often say things like, "You're the one I've been waiting for," or, "I've never felt this way about anyone before." And when he said these things, I felt special. I felt like the one who could give him the happiness he'd been searching for, the one who could make everything right. His affection for me was intense, and his words were full of promises of a future together. The more I listened, the more I wanted to believe him, and before I knew it, we were more than just friends. We spent more and more time together. And then, he made a decision. He was going to divorce her. The process wasn't easy. It was messy, painful, and full of drama. But eventually, his wife and their kids moved out of their house. And I moved into his house with my sister and mother. It felt like a fresh start, a new beginning, a love story finally unfolding the way it was supposed to. And then, something even more exciting happened. He proposed. The ring was perfect. The moment was magical. And for the first time, I felt like I had won. I thought to myself, this is it. He's mine. We're finally building a life together. But if only I had known. That moment was just the calm before the storm. After he proposed to me, everything seemed perfect at first. The excitement of the proposal, the joy of having a ring on my finger. It all felt like a dream come true. He was still loving, affectionate, and full of promises about our future together. We talked about our wedding plans, our life ahead, and for a brief moment, I felt like everything I had ever wanted was finally falling into place. I was convinced that this was the start of something beautiful, a new chapter where we could build a life together, but slowly, the magic started to fade. At first, it was subtle. Little changes I tried to ignore. He became distant, less affectionate, and his sweet words became fewer and farther between. The phone calls, the messages, the little gestures of love. They all started to disappear. I tried to brush it off, telling myself that he was just stressed or busy with work. But deep down, I knew something was off. He wasn't the same man I had fallen in love with. As time went on, the cracks began to show. He stopped calling me by the pet names he used to use, and the long conversations we once had became brief and shallow. When I tried to talk to him about it, he would dismiss my concerns, saying he was just going through a tough time. I wanted to believe him, so I did. But it wasn't long before I discovered the truth. One day, I found out he had been sneaking around behind my back to see his ex-wife. At first, he told me it was just for co-parenting, that he needed to spend time with his kids, but that wasn't all he was doing. I found out he got his ex-wife pregnant again. I felt my heart drop. The man I gave my heart to, the man who promised me a future, had been sneaking around with his ex-wife, the woman he claimed he never loved, and now they are having another child together. He had lied to me. I thought that if he was willing to go through the pain of leaving his wife and family behind, it must mean that his love for me was real. I believed in the future he painted for us. I confronted him. I demanded answers. And do you know what he said? He let out a deep sigh and said, "Babe, you won't believe this. It was an accident." I blinked at him, completely dumbfounded. An accident? I stared at him in disbelief. So you just tripped and fell into her and she became pregnant? He nodded seriously, as if he truly expected me to believe it. Yeah. I was just over there to see the kids, and one thing led to another. I didn't even mean for it to happen. You're making it sound worse than it is. It was a weak moment, okay? But it doesn't mean anything. I couldn't decide what was more insulting, the betrayal or the pathetic excuse he thought I'd actually believe. It's not what you think. I'm still committed to you. I'll fix everything. But how could I believe him? The affection was gone. The love I once felt vanished. And now it felt like I was just there, while he secretly went back to the life he swore he left behind. And if that wasn't enough, I found out he had bought her a brand new iPhone. He had given her one of his cars. And me? Nothing. Not a car. Not a property. Not even a single thing in my name. My sisters told me to be careful. They warned me. What if he leaves you too? What if he goes back to her completely? What do you really have? And that's when it hit me. I had nothing. No security, no assurance, no proof that I was even his priority anymore. I thought I would have him to myself. But now, I'm sharing him. And I don't like sharing him. Our wedding is in June. But now I don't even know if it should happen. Because deep down, I can feel it. He still loves her. Even though he's with me, his heart is somewhere else. And I'm scared. Scared that one day I'll wake up and realize I was never the one he truly wanted. What should I do? Would you still go ahead with the wedding? Would you stay, knowing you're not his only one? Or would you walk away before it's too late? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever been in a situation like this, share your story. Because sometimes, love isn't as simple as we think it is.